Hey folks, hi, how are you guys doing today? I'm actually going to be doing my first episode here for my Spotify channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the information. This is information that I just want to get out because a lot of people keep asking me for this information. It's something that's been asked, a message I've been getting, sorry, for weeks, I would say probably up to months. They want more detailed information on this type of topic that I've actually done pretty much a couple of videos on it. They're pretty much short, so I didn't get to explain as much as I want to explain. So now I'm going to do this video, try to get it as long as possible, as detailed as possible, and I want to make it as simple as possible so a 5-year-old can understand what I'm saying. Now, it's basically having a bug out bag, and every person in your household, every male, every female, every child should have a bug out bag. All right. Now, what is the use of a bug out bag, you say? Basically, folks, it's quite simple. Now, first of all, before I go get into it, I want to mention a book. It's called Grid Down, Death of a Nation. It was actually put information put together by Homeland Security and other departments, and they want the public to know, give the public an insight of what's basically coming if the grid happened to go down. It's not, and they're basically saying it's not if, it's just a matter of when. It's something that's going to happen because it can be caused by man-made, it can be caused by natural disasters. And keep in mind, in these times that we're living with wars and rumors of wars and so forth, I'm not going to get into it. You talk about EMP and so forth, those things can actually take down the grid of a nation and basically any nation. So anyway, yes. So bug out, guys. Now, first and foremost, guys, when you plan on putting a bug out bag together, it really applies to people that are actually living in populated areas, cities. It doesn't. I mean, it applies to people, everyone really. But if you live already in the country, in the rural area, and you're not around a large group of people, you pretty much really don't need to use one as much as someone who's basically in the heart of a city. And once these things start happening, and there's a lot of people around them, people start acting chaotic. Sorry, it's your time to go, and it's your time to leave with you and yours and your family, just to keep them safe. And first and foremost, guys, you got to have a location without where you want to go. First of all, the location that you're going to has to be away from people, preferably out in the rural areas, out in the country, um, places like that. Could be a friend home, it could be a family home, and so forth. Also, you want to let your kids know what you're doing. Everyone in this group should have an idea what's happening, why you're putting this together. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but I promise you, this is something a lot of people are going to use in the future. And I say the coming future, and that future is near because of what's happening to our planet and what we're going through and this pole shift that we're experiencing. All right, guys. Now, in that bug out bag, you're going to need basically three forms of clothing. You're going to need wet, cold, and warm. Three forms of clothing: wet, cold, and warm. Those are the three different categories you're going to need. In each category, you're going to need also three. So you're going to need three suits of wet clothing, three suits of clothing for cold climate, and three for warm. Chances are, when you decide to use the bug out bag, there's a high possibility that you're not going back to that area that you're moving from because we're pretty much there. Talking about Mad Max, stuff like that. But as I said, guys, I'm not here to spread fear. This information is not about that. It's to spread awareness amongst people and let people know the times that we're living in, how to prepare for these times, and when this situation arises, how you can properly approach it with you and your family without dealing with chaotic people, without putting your family in danger, and so forth. So once again, three forms of clothing. You also want to use earth colors for these clothing. Guys, try to buy cheap clothing. You don't really need designers. Forget that. Go to Walmart. Go where you can actually get these clothing for cheap. Because keep in mind, now at this time when you're using your bug out bag, the society at this point is falling apart. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, why am I talking about this? It's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Are you sure it's going to happen? But if you're paying attention and look what's actually happening, you see that these natural disasters and these things are actually escalating. And actually, if you know about, let me touch a little bit about, Sumerian history and the cyclical cycle of planet go through every 3,654 years. You know that we're living in that time. And yes, it's going to happen. And yes, we are going to experience these uh, cataclysmic event. And we have to learn how to deal with them properly because we can't stop it. No man on this earth can stop what's coming. All right. Now that's the one. Now that I got that out of the way, and now that I got your attention, so let me continue. Also, as I said, three sets of clothing: wet, cold, and warm. Choose earth colors. You're also going to need a knife and a rope. No, a knife and a rope in case you need to tie stuff together, knife in case you need to cut something that you want to cook, eat, so forth. If you get stuck and you want to cut yourself free out away from something, you have a knife to do that. A pocket knife is actually perfect. All right. Now, each bug out bag should have a knife and a rope. Now, also, you're going to need a military compass. Military compass is pretty simple because during that time, you're not really going to have electricity. So your devices are not going to be able to charge. So having a military compass, it will give you basically true north because with that military compass, you're also going to need a topographic map. I'm going to spell it Topographic, a topographic map. Now, what a topographic map is, folks, it give you the terrain of your area that you're in. It give you landmarks, and it's very easy to use with a military compass. You can use it very well with that. So, along with that military compass, which you can purchase online, you can also, I think you can also purchase at certain stores, military stores that sell military gadgets and stuff like that. So, topographic map is something you can also purchase at Walmart. You can also get them at, um, I would say, Staples and so forth. You can get them there, and you're also going to be needing a small pot for water purification, also for cooking. Now, water purification is basically you using dirty water and turning it clean so you and your family, kids, whoever is in your group can have water to drink. All you need to do is just, even if if you encounter a lake, you just use the pot, take the water out of the lake, boil the water, purify all the germs out of it, and then you strain the water through a clean rag. So the clean water will go through the rag and go into another container, and you cool, and it will keep the the trash and the dirt inside. Keep it once you strain it, everything else, the trash and all that stuff out of the water will remain in the rags. So that clean water that go into that second container, once it cooled, you'll be able to drink it and not being killed or poisoned or whatever. Because once you boil the water, all the germs, all the bacteria, all that stuff is out of it. It's just simple, old fashioned way of purifying dirty water to drink it. Till this day, some people still do it in certain countries, especially in third world countries. So it's something that is still being done. You're also going to need a tarp. Each person in the group should have a tarp. Tarp is basically your bed. This is what you're going to sleep in. Yep, I said it. And first and foremost, guys, let me pause a little bit at tarp. All right. Now, when you decide to use your bug out bag, and this is the best indicator to gauge once the electricity go out. If you live in a city, if the electricity go out for more than 72 hours in a city, after 3 days, you're gonna have chaos in any major city. So basically, after 2 days, which is 48 hours, and the electricity don't come back, and you're in the heart of a city, it's time to go. It's time for you to get your family and your friends, get your bug out bag, and go to that designated area that you already have planned that you want to go. This is where I need to go. This is what I talk about my family with. And then you have to take them there. Now, one of the best advice I can give people is to move during nighttime. I really believe it's better to move during night than any other time. It's safer. All right, because you encounter less people. That's the reason why I'm saying this. Now, let's just say you there the grid situation is so bad where you can't even have gas to put in your car for you to drive. Now you have another option you could do. You could actually use a bicycle, or you can actually use your legs, which is one of the best way to move around. It's to basically walk. It's a lot slower than usual transportation, but it's the most reliable. But if you do decide to use a bike or walk, let's just say walk, all right? If you're walking, guys, you don't want to walk in a group. Your group should be anywhere between 2 to 6 people. You can push it to 8 or 10, but I don't advise you to. You don't want to do this alone. You should have a group between 2 to 6 people. Once again, you can push it to 8 or 10, but I don't advise you to. I'm just repeating myself. You walk behind each other. You put one in front, then 6 feet behind the one in front, you put another person. 6 feet behind the second person, you put a third person. 6 feet behind the third person, you put a fourth person. 6 feet behind the fourth person, you put another person, and so on. The reason why is because you won't be clustered in a group. You won't be uh, close to each other so you can communicate. There's not going to be any room or any way for you guys to communicate often while you're moving because this way you stay quiet and every person have each other six except for the person at the back. The person at the back, I would put the strongest person in the group, the alpha. You want to keep them at the back. It's like basically, you ever seen a wolf in the wild move with their pack? The alpha is always at the back. He's watching everyone. And yes, I actually got that from the wolves. They stay 6 feet apart from each other and they move in a straight line. And the person at the front, they keep the weakest one in the group at the front and they lead. The strongest one in the group stay at the back. So once again, that idea came from watching how Wolfpack move during the wild, and I think it's absolutely amazing and it's smart. So I'm just putting that in this information. So when you decide, if you're moving on your legs, this is how I want you guys to move. Okay, you move in a queue, one at the front. Behind that person, you have another person 6 feet behind. Behind the second person 6 feet behind that person, another person, and so on. And again, folks, when you do decide to sleep daytime, move at night. And again, you're going to use your tarp when you sleep. That's the purpose for the tarp. You really want to sleep at high ground. And this is why I say that. When you're high, at a high altitude, you actually get to see people before they see you. You have the advantage of seeing someone coming towards you before they come towards you and see you and catch you off guard. So this way, there is no surprise. No one is going to sneak up on you. because you are at a high altitude. Listen, this is very careful. If you're in the outdoor, again, guys, I'm dreading that we don't have to use this, but knowing what I know and doing my due diligence, I'm 100% sure a lot of people are going to use a bug out bag. And that time is very, very close. People, especially that live in the city area, the key is to leave, get away from people, and go in areas where you're not encountering people. Because during this time, being around people is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. This is why I say this. When people get desperate and needy, they get dangerous. Okay? All right. You're also going to need a magnesium starter kit. Magnesium starter kit is something that you could start a fire with. You can get these at Walmart in the outdoor section. You can use this to cook your meal, cook whatever you need to cook. Also, boil your water so you can have purified drinking water. So that's the purpose of the magnesium starter kit. You might having the bow and arrow is also a good thing. You could use it for protection. You could use it to hunt your food. I heard squirrels taste very well. Never had it. Never had it before. I've had deer. I've had venison. Just never had squirrel. I met someone who had squirrel. They also ate. They also ate raccoon. Haven't ate raccoon either. So, but I heard squirrel and raccoon taste very very delicious. But I take their word for it. But in times like this, when you talk about Mad Max timeline, at this point, when you can't pick and choose, you put a score in front of anybody who's hungry, they're gonna eat it. So I'm not gonna say, you know what, I will never eat that. I will never say that because you put me in a situation like that where there's no grocery store. I can't do any Uber Eats. I can't order Uber Eats. I can't order pizza. I can't order none of that. Can't even go to Walmart. I can't even go to Publix. I can't go to any grocery store because there is none. Because at this point, civilization have come to a screeching halt. And I know it's weird to make this my first video, and but it's a question that I get a lot. That's why I'm making this my first video because I've done a video on this on bug out bag, and for some reason people ask me a lot. I need that video of that bug out bag because I need to start working on my bug out bag because I feel something is coming and something is going to happen. So that's why I take it upon myself to make it my first video. You also need to wear boots. And the reason why I say wear boots, folks, you don't need to wear sneakers if you're walking outdoor because sneakers don't really give you much protection. Boots, high boots, where you're dealing with snakes and other type of critters, it keep your feet safe away from critters. So you want to deal with something like a combat boot, and you want to keep it earth colors. You either want to go brown, you want to go black. You don't want to get fancy. You don't want to go red. You don't want no bright colors. You want to stay away from bright colors as best as possible. As I said before, and I stress this over and over, you want to keep 2 to 6 people in a group. You can push it to 8 or 10. I don't advise it, but you can push it. But make sure if you do push it to that amount of people, you have to let everyone in that group aware of your plans, what you're doing, and how important it is. How important it is. Can't stress it anymore any further. To stay quiet when you're moving. They have to go along with protocol. Because if they don't, if they get out of line, this is something that could cost your life. And I don't say that lightly because I already know. You're talking about times like Mad Max when we have no electricity. Basically, civilization comes to a halt. People getting desperate. At that point, anything is possible. People are going to behave in ways that I'm not even going to go there. When it comes, it comes. And the way we deal with it, if you are prepared, the transition will be smooth, it will be easy, and it won't be difficult. And that's the reason why I'm doing this video. Because when it's time for you to transition into this person using the tools that I'm telling you to put together, the transition is actually going to be easy. It's not going to be difficult because you're staying ready. You don't have to get ready. You're already ready to move. Okay. And once again, I said the people that live in the city areas are the one that's actually going to be using this information very soon. And they're going to be using the process that I'm explaining to you very soon. Okay. Now, you also need a book of edible plants in the wildlife. Oh, sorry, wildlife. It's very good you have a book on that because let's just say you run out of food, a canned food that you have in your bag up. There's trees all over the place. There's dandelions all over the place. You can eat these things and it won't kill you. It will keep you alive. Okay? For example, another way you could actually get water is actually if you have a Ziploc bag, is to stick if you take grass, early morning grass with the dew on it, if you take that and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the sun, you actually will have water, all the moisture and the water out inside the grass will come out of the leaf and get into that plastic bag. And that drop of clean water coming out of the grass could save your life. These are the things that people need to know, and we don't know these things because of society. We get everything so easy now. You need some water, you go to the store. You need some food, you call Uber Eats, it's at your door in minutes. What if all of that is taken away? Get my point, right? This is the reason I choose to make this my first video because I've done a lot of prediction. I've, I've foretold a lot of events since I've been doing these videos. And there's one thing I know for sure that's coming. And I'm going to leave it at that. One thing I know for sure that's coming. One thing I know for sure that's coming. One day we're going to wake up and we're going to have a problem with electricity. We're not going to have it. If you don't have electricity, you don't have food. You don't have transportation. Society will come to an extreme halt. Everything revolves around the grid. Whether you want to accept this or not, whether you want to believe this or not, it's the truth. Now, if you live, uh, as I said, your queue, if you live in a city, once you have no electricity, it's 2 days. If 2 days pass and you're in a major city and there's no electricity, get your stuff and start moving to the location that you already planned to go to if this incident ever unfolds, which is now unfolding in front of you. Okay? Now, again, sleep, daytime, high ground. Okay? Walk, move at night. You want to move on your legs? Great. If you want to move on a bicycle, great. But chances are, use your legs. That's the best way to do it. All right, guys. Now, you want also have gloves. Want to keep gloves in the in your bug-out bag. Also, it's up to you. Your call on pets. I'm not going to speak on that because people pets are like their kids, so I cannot speak on someone kid. I can't do that. That's not my place. So it's up to you what you want to do when it comes to the pets. All right. And again, folks, um, so I just want to let you guys know this is, man, my first episode here. I'm going to be posted on Spotify, and I'm just trying to. I did this video here because a lot of people been asking me, you know, how how can basically how can they prepare, how how are the what type of stuff that they need to get for their bug out bag, and I hope this information helps. I try to get I guess I'm trying my best to explain this as detailed as I possibly can. And again, folks, when you do start making these plans, whoever you decide to keep in that group, him, her, your kid, whoever, neighbor, friends, him or each person in your group need to know, every one of them, what you're doing. Each person need to know where we'll be going if this happens. Right? So no one is surprised. And again, I just want to thank you guys for always supporting my video. And I'm just doing a quick test run with this episode here to see how well it performs on Spotify, how people will react to it, and how they will reciprocate to it. And